What if the biggest obstacle in your life is not your lack of talent, money, or opportunity? What if the real enemy is hidden deep inside human nature itself? Every day, people sabotage relationships, destroy careers, and make emotional decisions without even realizing it. In The Laws of Human Nature, Robert Greene reveals the psychological patterns that secretly drive human behavior. And once you understand these laws, you gain the power to understand yourself and everyone around you. Human beings believe they are rational creatures, but most decisions are emotional. People react based on fear, insecurity, pride, envy, and desire. Then they create logical explanations afterward to justify their behavior. This is why intelligent people still ruin their lives with impulsive decisions. Greene explains that mastering yourself begins with recognizing your emotional nature before it controls you. Self-awareness is the foundation of power. People rarely show their true selves to the world. Instead, they create carefully designed versions of themselves to gain approval, status, or attention. Some people appear kind but are manipulative underneath. Others appear confident while secretly battling deep insecurity. Greene warns that if you only judge people by appearances, you will constantly be deceived. Learning to see beneath the mask gives you a massive advantage in life and relationships. Envy is one of the most dangerous hidden emotions in human nature. People often smile in your face while secretly resenting your success. The more you rise, the more envy you may attract from others. Greene explains that envy is difficult to detect because people rarely admit it openly. Instead, it appears through subtle criticism, passive aggression, or quiet sabotage. Understanding envy helps you protect your goals and choose your circle wisely. Modern society trains people to constantly compare themselves to everyone else. Social media magnifies insecurity by making people believe everyone else is happier, richer, and more successful. Greene explains that this obsession with comparison weakens confidence and creates emotional instability. The more you focus on others, the less control you have over your own path. Real fulfillment comes from building your own purpose instead of chasing validation. Many emotional reactions come from unresolved pain buried deep in the past. A small criticism can trigger enormous anger because it touches an old insecurity. Some people become controlling because they once felt powerless. Others constantly seek approval because they never received enough love growing up. Greene teaches that understanding these emotional roots allows you to respond intelligently instead of reacting blindly. Healing begins when you recognize your patterns. Charismatic people understand human emotions better than others. They make people feel seen, heard, and important. This creates emotional influence that logic alone cannot achieve. Greene explains that charm is not about being the loudest or most attractive person in the room. It is about understanding attention, empathy, and emotional connection. The people who master this skill often dominate leadership, business, and relationships. Individually, people may act calmly and thoughtfully, but in groups, emotions spread rapidly like fire. Fear, anger, outrage, and excitement become contagious. Greene explains that crowds often abandon logic and become emotionally driven mobs. This is why social media outrage spreads so quickly in modern society. Intelligent people learn how to think independently instead of blindly following emotional trends. Most people chase short-term pleasure and avoid discomfort, but this habit slowly weakens their future. Greene explains that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the ability to control impulses so you can build something meaningful over time. The people who master themselves gain freedom that others never experience. Self-control separates average lives from extraordinary ones. Modern technology is designed to hijack your attention every second of the day. Notifications, entertainment, and endless distractions weaken concentration and emotional stability. Greene warns that distracted people become easier to manipulate. The ability to focus deeply is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Protecting your attention is now a survival skill in the modern world. In moments of stress, most people panic emotionally, but calm individuals think clearly while everyone else loses control. Greene explains that emotional control creates enormous influence because people naturally trust stability during chaos. Calmness allows you to observe situations objectively instead of reacting impulsively. The ability to remain composed under pressure is one of the greatest forms of strength. Mastering your emotions allows you to lead others more effectively. Many people appear humble until they gain power. Once authority arrives, their hidden traits become visible. Greene explains that power magnifies whatever already exists inside a person. Insecure people become controlling. Narcissistic people become dangerous. Wise people become responsible leaders. Understanding this law helps you judge character more accurately before trusting someone with influence. Most people fear failure because they see it as humiliation, but Greene argues that failure is one of the greatest teachers in life. Every setback reveals weaknesses, blind spots, and areas for growth. The people who succeed long-term are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who learn from it faster than everyone else. Pain often creates the wisdom that comfort never could. Human beings deeply crave acceptance and belonging. Because of this, many people suppress their true thoughts just to fit in. Greene explains that society pressures individuals to conform even when the crowd is wrong. The strongest people are able to think independently despite criticism or rejection. Real confidence means trusting your judgment even when others disagree. Courage often begins with standing alone. Manipulation is not always obvious or dramatic. Often it appears through guilt, emotional pressure, flattery, or passive aggression. Greene teaches that emotionally unaware people become easy targets for manipulators. The key defense is emotional distance and observation. When you stop reacting emotionally, you begin seeing people's true intentions more clearly. Awareness protects you from emotional traps. Many people spend years chasing money, status, and recognition only to feel empty afterward. Greene explains that external success alone cannot satisfy the deeper human need for meaning. Without purpose, achievement becomes hollow. Real fulfillment comes from growth, contribution, and self-mastery. A meaningful life is built from internal strength, not external validation. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding honest self-reflection. They blame others for problems while remaining blind to their own flaws. Greene believes self-awareness is one of the rarest and most valuable human abilities. The more honestly you examine yourself, the more power you gain over your life. Growth begins the moment excuses end. Self-awareness is the first step toward transformation. Human nature has remained surprisingly consistent throughout history. The same emotions, fears, ambitions, and weaknesses repeat across generations. Greene encourages studying psychology, history, and human behavior to better understand the present. Wise mentors can help you avoid painful mistakes that others already experienced. Learning from history accelerates growth. Ignoring history forces people to repeat it. Emotionally reactive people reveal their weaknesses too easily. Greene explains that silence creates mystery, control, and emotional discipline. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every conflict deserves your energy. Calm restraint often gives you more power than emotional outbursts ever will. Sometimes the strongest move is choosing not to react. Massive life changes rarely happen overnight. Instead, life is shaped by small daily behaviors repeated consistently over time. Greene explains that habits slowly build either strength or weakness. Tiny actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound dramatically over years. Discipline in small things creates extraordinary results later. Your future is hidden inside your daily routine. Many people focus only on their own needs and emotions, but Greene explains that understanding others is one of the greatest advantages in life. Empathy allows you to communicate more effectively and build deeper trust. People naturally support those who genuinely understand them. Emotional intelligence often matters more than raw intelligence. Relationships improve when people feel understood. Not everyone deserves access to your time, attention, or emotional energy. Greene warns that toxic people drain motivation, confidence, and peace of mind. Some individuals thrive on chaos, manipulation, or negativity. Learning to set boundaries is essential for emotional health and personal growth. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. Greene's message is ultimately empowering. Human nature may contain darkness, weakness, and emotional chaos, but awareness gives us the ability to rise above it. The people who study themselves honestly gain a tremendous advantage in life. Instead of becoming victims of emotion, they become masters of it. Personal transformation begins with understanding how human beings truly work. The better you understand human nature, the better you understand yourself. The Laws of Human Nature is more than a book about psychology. It is a guide to understanding why people behave the way they do and how to protect yourself from self-destruction. The lessons in this book can improve your relationships, career, confidence, and emotional intelligence if you apply them consistently. Human nature will always influence your life, but awareness gives you the power to choose your response instead of reacting automatically. If you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, comment your biggest takeaway below, and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing book summaries and self-improvement content.